Welcome back to the Digital Ledger. I'm DJ, here with Jake, and today we're talking about something that's everywhere in finance right now: AI. But not AI as a buzzword. We're talking about trust in AI and why it's becoming the deciding factor between organizations that move forward with confidence and those that stall out. Because before anyone asks, how fast can we deploy AI? The better question is, are we actually prepared to trust it? Jake, let's start there.
And that's exactly the mindset finance teams should be adopting internally. AI has crossed a line. It's no longer just helping with efficiency, it's influencing outcomes. Today, AI is embedded in close processes, expense reviews, forecasting, fraud detection, and risk assessments. So here's the first action for listeners. Identify where AI is influencing decisions, not just where it's saving time. That distinction matters because the moment AI influences judgment, trust becomes a control issue, not a technology preference.
That's a really important framing, and historically it tracks. I was reading an ACCA webinar that made a strong point. Every major technology shift forces organizations to re-earn trust. Credit cards, accounting machines, automation. PwC summed it up well. Technology rarely fails first. Confidence does. Heinz opened factories so people could see how food was made. Today, the equivalent action is different. It's making AI logic visible enough that people can challenge it.
Exactly. And this is where leaders need to slow down intentionally. I had a real example. We were using an AI tool to review expense reports. Everything looked fine at first glance, but something didn't sit right. When we dug in, we found bias. International vendors were flagged far more aggressively than domestic ones. Here's the action step. Build review checkpoints early. Don't wait for audit season or an exception report. Decide up front who reviews AI outputs, how often, and what triggers escalation.
That's key. AI doesn't replace judgment. It raises the cost of weak judgment. And a lot of organizations miss this because they treat trust like a technical feature instead of an operating decision. Trust is built through accuracy, transparency, fairness, and planned human oversight. If AI runs faster than your ability to explain or override it, you're not gaining efficiency. You're accumulating risk.
Right, and the good news is accountants already know how to handle this. The practical move here is to apply existing control thinking to AI. Ask, what assumptions is the model making? Where can humans intervene? Who owns the final decision? If you can't answer those questions clearly, the AI isn't ready to scale.
Before we go deeper, here is a quick transparency disclosure for our audience. AI helps support research and shape parts of this episode. But all fact-checking, analysis, and final decisions come from us as humans. We're blending the best of both worlds. Alright, moving right along, let's talk adoption. Deloitte found that over 80% of finance and accounting professionals expect AI tools to be standard within 5 years. That optimism is real, but trust remains the biggest barrier. And that tells us something actionable. Confidence, not capability, is what's slowing teams down.
Exactly. Only about 13% of organizations are actively using AI agents today. Most are waiting, and that's reasonable. The blockers are consistent: lack of transparency, legacy system complexity, and unclear accountability. So here's the action. Don't start with tools, start with governance. Frameworks like Deloitte's Trustworthy AI help, but only if you operationalize them with owners, documentation, and review processes.
I moderated a panel that was supposed to be about AI benefits. It turned into a governance conversation almost immediately. And the consensus was clear. If you can't explain your AI to a regulator, a client, or your board, you shouldn't be using it yet. That's not being cautious. That's being credible.
Exactly. Governance isn't a blocker, it's what allows responsible speed. Once teams know what AI does, where it stops, and who's accountable, adoption actually accelerates. So the action here is clarity. Write it down, socialize it, and train to it.
And without that clarity, hesitation is the right instinct. The most advanced AI tool in the world doesn't help if no one trusts it. That's just expensive shelfware.
And nobody wants that on their balance sheet.
This is where the CPA role really expands. According to the Digital Ledger and the Journal of Accountancy, CPAs are increasingly becoming the guardians of AI trust. Not by building AI, but by validating it. So here's the action for firms. Bring assurance thinking into AI projects early, not after deployment.
Exactly. CPAs already provide assurance through SOC reports. That same discipline applies here. And it's important to be precise. There's no one-size-fits-all AI audit. Use a risk-based approach. Low-risk AI needs basic controls. High-impact AI, financial reporting, forecasting, compliance, needs deeper testing and documentation.
And regulators are reinforcing that mindset. Europe's AI Act classifies systems by risk. Organizations that align early by documenting controls, ethics, and oversight aren't just compliant, they're credible. And credibility is becoming a competitive advantage in deals, audits, and client relationships.
I've seen it firsthand. On an AI forecasting project, we embedded CPA guided checks from day one, SOC style controls plus AI specific testing. The result wasn't just comfort for regulators, it was confidence across the business. Clients trusted the outputs, sales teams referenced the assurance. Trust became part of the value proposition.
That's the real shift. Trust isn't assumed anymore. It's designed, tested, and maintained. And that's pulling CPAs into a more strategic role in AI adoption.
Exactly. Regulation, expectations, and real risk are all pointing in the same direction. If you want to move fast with AI and stay trusted, build assurance into the process from the start.
That's it for this episode of the Digital Ledger. Jake, always appreciate the insight.
Always a great conversation, DJ.
And to our listeners, stay curious, stay disciplined, and never outsource your judgment. We'll see you next time.